Welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Tuesday, July 25th. Mark, are you feeling old yet? We're just moments away from your birthday. How are you feeling?
Hours away from the big 4-5. Feeling good.
What should I get you for your birthday?
You don't have to get me anything.
Mark, you give the best presents. Like, I have to say, we usually do like gift cards and things like that for each other, but Mark's Christmas presents are amazing. And it usually is a themed one. And the olive oil and balsamic vinegars, the pastas, it's always just amazing. And beautiful boxes. I just give money. I'm so lazy. All right. If you have a financial question, we would encourage you to get in touch with us. All you need to do is go to our website, jillonmoney.com, click the contact us button, and you write us a note. And if you'd like to come on the air, just click the box and then boom, Mark does everything else. While you're on the website, a couple of things to consider. Number one, you should sign up for the free weekly newsletter. There's all sorts of free content that lives there. And then if you want to get some more bonus content, you can subscribe to our new service called Jill on Money Live. That's where you have access to quarterly live webinars and, some extra interviews, some videos, some audio. Mark, I put the ask out for our idea for the next webinar. And that person is checking the schedule, and hopefully that would be good, right? I'm very excited. Okay, so here we go. Today, we are joined by a...
Wait a second.
What?
You teased the caller and myself about this ethical dilemma.
Oh, you're right. You ready for the ethical dilemma? Here we go. Ethical dilemma today. You have somebody who's been working for you for 2 years. You own a restaurant, okay? And you are now considering what to do with the knowledge that you're pretty sure the person is stolen from you. Okay? Now, it's not big money. It's a little bit of money. You've helped this person in the past. There are some other issues. So you could fire the person for cause. You could not make a big deal. There is some concern that when you fire this person, if you accuse the person of stealing without red hot proof, right? And even though, let's say you're 95% sure that it's this person, if you do it without proof, you are nervous that there's going to be some issue. Do you fire the person and say, this is why? Or do you say, I need to let you go?
If those are the options, I would take the latter. So wait, this person allegedly stole from a restaurant?
From the till. But not 100%, but it's 95%.
Yeah, but then there's still a 5% chance that it's wrong.
So you have to say, you cannot get that satisfaction of saying, I know you stole from me, you blankety blank blank. You just can't.
No, if you don't know for sure, no.
Okay, let's bring in caller Leo from the nation's capital. Leo, what do you think? Should we confront the person, or should we essentially just say, all right, it's done?
Oh man, hello. That's starting to not. Yeah, I agree with Mark on that one. I think without 100% proof, I mean, if you can get to 100% proof, then you should raise it, because I assume the person's going to ask, why is this happening? Why are you letting me go?
Yeah. I mean, the thing that's tough about it is I believe that when you have that kind of feeling, it usually is right. But I think because it's not 100%, I was like, no. We all decided that was the best route. Like, okay, you know what? You can always hide it. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. We don't need you anymore. And, I'm sure this person's going to ask for a reference.
Yeah. The reference game is a whole other, we've had people come into jobs with references, and, people give references broadly, I think. And that's, I think his next question is, do I give a reference? What do I do if someone asks me?
I mean, I think references are so tricky because, all these businesses don't like giving references because you can get really in trouble. So if you had to give a reference for someone who stinks, how do you do that? I've had people call me. Here's the other ethical dilemma. Leo, we're going to get to your question. I have had people call me and say, should I take a job working at CBS for this person? And they are friends of friends. And I will always preface this by saying, officially, we do not give opinions about that, of course, off the record, because if someone's about to work for someone who's nasty, That's not good. I don't feel good about that. If I have not actually said, I wouldn't work for that person if I were you, or there may be someone else, but, or at least know like that person's a tough cookie. So maybe just know that going in, something like that. Okay, Leo from the nation's capital, how can we help you out today?
Yeah, I am sort of have the two general questions that you all get and are very helpful with. Just number one, are we on track for retirement? How are things going? And then number two, I recently started a new job here since I reached out to you all, and the 401k match doesn't kick in for a little while at this job. So I have a little bit of extra money in the paycheck and trying to figure out kind of where to put that with competing priorities, and also thinking about just going up to the 401k match in this new job since it's more of a temporary gig. So rather than maxing that out as I have been.
Interesting. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so 32, living in Washington, D.C. I make about 135 with bonus. Like I said, recently, new job.
What were you making? Just out of curiosity. I just want to know how you were doing.
Yeah, it was about the same, actually.
Okay.
I needed a kind of, get out of a situation. So slightly lateral move, but about the same salary. But very happy in the new job.
All right, good. All right. So but what do you got? You have are you renting right now?
I am, yeah, renting. Boyfriend and I live together, recently moved in together, and rent in DC.
How's that going? How's the new cohabitation?
It's good. It's really good. Yeah, going well, enjoying it.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
That can always put a little pressure on. How much is your rent?
It's $2,300, which for DC is not too bad.
I was just going to say that's reasonable. And you're paying, is that, you mean $2,300 each or divided by two?
Divided by two.
Oh, great.
So I make a little bit more, so I pay a little bit more. I pay $1,300.
Okay.
Which is not too bad.
Yeah. So in your old job, you had a retirement plan. What was in that plan?
Yeah, so it was a federal job. So I have 140,000 in the TSP, which is like the 401k equivalent. And then I am vested in the pension plan there. I did 10 years, so it won't be a ton, but it's, about, I calculated like 11,000 annually when I'm 65, which is helpful.
You don't think there's any chance you'd go back into the federal system?
It's possible. Yeah. No immediate plans, but it's always kind of out there.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Tell us a little bit about when you say, the saving and like, what's your cash flow really look like on a monthly basis? What do you think you've got that we should be thinking about?
Feel pretty good about the savings rate. I also do a Roth IRA. I do some money into a brokerage. I probably, live on about $3,500 to $4,000 a month myself, and then put a fair amount of it into, savings that I have been doing, but now I've got this little extra coming in as well.
How much money's in the Roth IRA right now?
In the Roth, there is 42,000.
And the brokerage account?
48,000.
And just plain old savings?
I've got about 26,000 in cash.
You're going to be able to contribute to a retirement plan at work when?
That'll be in a month. I can start contributing, and they match 6%.
Oh, that's good. Do you have an idea what they use? Like, is it a good plan? Do you know?
I don't. Yeah, I've been trying to get the details, but I don't know. Now.
Do you know if they have a Roth option or just a traditional?
From what I understand, they have a Roth option, which I'd want to do. Okay.
And where do you keep your Roth IRA and your brokerage account? What firm is that in?
Those are both at Vanguard.
Okay. Do you feel pressure to buy? I mean, do you really feel that? I mean, I'm just kind of noodling that around because your rent is really cheap. You just moved in together.
Right.
What are you feeling?
I don't, honestly. I think it's like the, millennial, all your friends are buying and everybody, that sort of like cultural pressure a little bit. And, parents that are saying this is what you should do and, all that kind of stuff. But I think it's a commitment to DC that I don't know if this is the place I'm going to live for the rest of my life. And I do like the flexibility.
Yeah. And also you're not paying so much in rent. So I am much more inclined, as you are already feeling that, as yourself is like, hey, let me just save some money and do the best I can. I am interested in finding out what the actual plan is in terms of the retirement account because, you are, let's call it, most of your money is taxed at say 22 and 24% because you're single, right? And so I'm sort of interested to see, do they have a good plan? Is it better? Like if it's a crappy plan, there is a part of me that would say, well, use the Roth IRA or use the match, just, use the Roth 401k, sorry, up to the match and just plow money into the brokerage account because you can do that. But you have to really understand what the plan is where you are going to be. If you use the brokerage account as sort of your supplemental savings investing, it could always be tapped in the future for a place if you decide you want to buy something. I mean, look, DC is a very high cost of living area. You seem to have a great deal in terms of your rent. And you don't really know where you're going to go next. So I don't see why you would buy. I really don't. Unless, how would you buy? You would buy if someone said to you, Leo, I have a house or I have an apartment and I have to move fast. And if you want it, I'm going to sell it for a little bit under asking because I need to go fast. And it's like the perfect place for you. But like, unless you get like an amazing deal that's a turnkey, I don't see why you would do it. I really don't. Mark, what do you think?
I agree totally. I mean, kind of similar situation as to what I was in, 10 years ago. I mean, I was also in a very high cost of living city, New York, and I managed to somehow have cheap rent for a very long time. I milked that cow as long as I possibly could. I didn't buy my first piece of real estate until I was nearly 40 years old.
How about that? So I think you're in great shape. How are you managing the money? You feel comfortable doing it?
Yeah, in general, I enjoy it. I feel like it's a good balance. I'm not obsessed with it, but I, enjoy tracking it, and I feel pretty good about the savings rate, all of that, and handle it on my own for
That's
now.
awesome. That's great. And so just other little pieces here that we should just check in on. Do you have any other assets that are floating around out there that we need to know about? Just like anything that's causing you concern, issues, anything like that?
No, no debt, that I carry month to month. And that's all the assets that I told you
All
about.
right. This is great. I, of course, am very interested in you considering re-entry into the federal system if in fact it makes sense. I mean, if it's a good job, if you have something there that's exciting to you, I absolutely believe that would be something to reconsider if you are going to stick around DC. I was just talking to somebody who did this, who went in and out of the system it was funny. It was like every couple of years. And then she went back in and she's at such a high level now. It's great. She makes like a good living. She makes like a couple 100,000. She's a little bit older than you are, like 10 years older, but she makes like 250,000 now in the system. But she's at that top tier of like the pension and everything. She's like, I'm here forever. Forget it. It's amazing. And, every time I talk to people who have these pensions and, they have cost of living adjustments, you try to explain, this is hard to do in the private sector. It really is. So if you love what you're doing and you've got huge upside, that's one thing. But if you're the kind of person who's going to be making 130, 150, 160, and you may want to reconsider going back into the system. That's Aunt Jill, who loves herself a nice pension.
No, that's good advice. And yeah, definitely
just to
living here.
Just keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. Good luck. Have fun. And thank you so much for getting in touch with us. Now, if you're like Leo and you've just moved in with somebody and you would like to share an embarrassing story about how you didn't think that moving in would be as bad as it is, I want to hear that story. Mark, did I tell you about this podcast that I listened to? It's hysterical. My niece turned me on to it. It's called Normal Gossip. And it is basically people telling stories about like funny, weird things that happen in other people's lives, but they're true stories. They're very funny. And so they tend to like get involved with situations where, it's like cohabitation or a friend crisis or a neighborhood beef. Anyway, I highly recommend it. And if you want to share any of your fun stories like that with us that have any sort of financial angle, love, love, love to hear it. But for everyone else, just go to jillonmoney.com and click the contact us button, and you will be able to get in touch with us. It's so easy to do. And if you want to come on the broadcast, just click that box and Mark will do everything else. Don't forget to subscribe to the new service, Jill on Money Live. We give you access to quarterly live webinars and lots of great bonus content. And check out the book, The Great Money Reset. Okay, this program is co-hosted and executive produced by Mark Talercio, who is now also our web king. We are distributed by Paramount Global. We drop our episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Put your hands metaphorically on someone's back. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.